go through the pedal board and kind of talk to us about how you're using everything.
Yeah, so all right, so I have a main clean tone, which is my number one here. That you'll have, I think Jackson Audio did this 1484 pedal, which is, aside from the Fender Twin, is like that 1484 Silvertone is like my favorite amp.
Oh, okay,
you know?
yeah.
It has a little bit of crackle, has a little bit of, I don't know, it just... And what I put on that is I have a little bit of like a Boss Tremolo, a little bit of a Holy Grail, but that's all on the same chain as my clean. So my clean is, standard clean would be this 1484 Mimic pedal, a little bit of trem, and a little bit of reverb, so you get that. And then out of that, I have a secondary clean tone that's a little bit of an overdrive with this real deal Templo effect pedal that I use with the Synth 9 as well, so that can give you a little bit of dirt. Then I come over here. This has the clean with a Pog, and I used to have this VCR pedal that had it was like a three-way thing.
Yeah.
You know, it had like a...
I think from Walrus Audio, or was it JHS?
JHS.
Okay.
Yeah. But I wasn't using the boost, and I already had like the reverb going, so I figured let's take that out and just go straight chorus now. So that gives me the Pog effect without like the extra distortion.
Yeah.
Then my main distortion tone will be, I really like this. It's like a Dumble pedal. It's made by Amplified Nation.
Okay.
And with that, I just have a little bit of the DM2 delay because I like that little digitized
artifact. Yeah,
exactly.
Artifacty.
From there, I have an affected, like a distorted Pog here, and then I'll have a little bit of delay. This will have the Pog, and I use a Sneak. He calls it SNK. I always thought it was Sneak, but it's SNK.
Oh, okay. Yeah, after I thought it was like snake pedals.
Yeah, yeah. That's the VHD, which I think is maybe a little bit more like. There's a little bit more of a mids in that distorted tone.
Okay.
Then that's my secondary distorted tone is the VHD and a little bit of delay. So hear the difference? So that's the difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
This would be my Synth 9 effect. Has a similar feel to it like a Pog, but it's a little bit different, and the attack would be a little bit off, so it kind of like sneaks in a little bit.
Yeah, almost kind of like a swell.
Yeah. And then this is the last one, is like when it's like an all-out, so that has just the VHD and a little bit of chorus on there. So like if I want the chorus to kind of take that extra step up, we'll come here. And that's it, really.
Now, the one thing I didn't see get called out was the G7, the EQ pedal. Is that just there to help out?
That is in line with the synth pedal.
Okay.
So that's one chain.
Got it.
Yeah. And that just because when I was overdriving the synth, it was kind of, there's a couple of frequencies that were just a little nasty. So we kind of dip out, I taped over it, but like what is it?
Trails
6K
off.
Kind of thing, yeah. So we just keep that in line just to tame it a little bit. But that's really about it. And then other than that, what I'm using here on the extra is I have a Ghost Echo from Earthquaker that I use for when we throw Old Wounds in the set. This is great to just kind of like and that could just like get ethereal and get wild.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you kind of just drench that song in reverb, and that's the effect for that. The other thing I'm using is I have this Full Tone Fat Boost. Now I've had that on the whole time that we've been playing, because what I use it as, I don't use it as a boost necessarily, I use it as a choke. So say in your verses, what I'm doing is I'm down a little bit, but on the chord, so I can have the same tone, you know, but it can be subdued, and then when I want to get to the choruses, I can get a little bit louder.
Yeah,
this one goes to 11.
Yeah, notice that drive is literally, it's off.
Yeah,
the drive
totally off. So I'm just using it to like kind of cut that volume down a little bit.
And there's something behind the amp. You have a little board that you said that's kind of like perma.
Yeah, that's always on. So that's the Bowman Audio Endeavors, his overdrive pedal.
Yeah.
And then there's also from 24, there's or 29. I'm sorry, 29 effects. There's like a preamp and post thing. Like it gives it like a little bit of a buffer.
And those are always running.
Always running.
So like as you described in through the pedal board and going on and off of the different chains and effects, that was also
that's
included.
always so that's almost like its own board that I just keep behind because no one fucks with it. It's always on. Yeah.
And I think the only thing we didn't cover, Frank, is strings, and then any tunings that you guys have that you use on this current set list.
In this current set list, I'm in E standard. I'm always using Ernie Ball. I like the Burley Slinkies.
Okay.
And shout out to Tim Dove for always keeping me in line with those. They're great strings. I feel like the quality throughout all the packs that I've been given are fantastic. You know, like sometimes all too often you'll get like kinks or like at the ball end it starts to like unravel, kind of that just happens, but not with the Ernie Ball. So thank you guys so much. The other thing too is I'm always in Ernie Ball volume pedals. I love them. It's a security blanket for me. Like I don't know, just something about being able to, like, if you're hearing a squeal or something like that, I can kind of just do this on the fly. If I'm singing and playing at the same time, like I always have control over what's happening. And also too, it's a nice little rest for your old knees.
And it kind of is like a slight rock stance.
Yeah, it gives it a slight, exactly. Yeah, that's what you want.
Now, I know obviously everything is kind of a la carte when it comes to what you choose and take on the road for the different projects you're involved with, but how much would you say is like reflective, at least pedal board wise, that might be seen on Future Violence or MCR stuff?
So let's see, for MCR,
or would this be a complete rig, makeover based on that?
Yeah. Because I'm using on my cam, it's like the Gizmo.
The FX Gizmo.
Yeah, so that all pedals are off chain and
doing MIDI.
Yeah, and so like they'll switch that way, and I'll have like a song bank that'll help me out with that because there's a lot of effects going on.
I bet.
I always have a delay in there. I always have a trem in there. The twin is running with that rig, as well as a 412. I'm trying to think. And the Pog, I use a Pog a lot too.
Yeah, it's funny because I bet when you guys wrote those records, a lot of this gear wasn't even available.
No, that's
true. So you guys were creating in a different way, whether it was
1000%
gumshoeing shit together or just
totally.
You know what I mean. Like there was a lot more limitations.
Absolutely.
So like now it's almost like, how can I recreate those sounds?
Well, that's the thing, yeah. And we were talking about this earlier with another gentleman about how when you go back to some of those records, right? Like, I think all too often maybe people will be like, oh yeah, let me recreate that record. And it's like, you can do that, or you can think like, all right, this song is how I wrote it at that point in my life, right? How would I play that now?
Uh-huh.
And without fucking with the integrity of it, of course, but like, I think that keeps you creative. It keeps you a functioning artist by reimagining things like that.
Yeah.
Like, how would I play this? How would I arrange this song now if I were given that song at this point in my life?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a really fun thing for the band to do, and it's a fun thing for fans to enjoy as well. Like, yeah. Granted, there's two sides of that coin. Like I remember seeing Bob Dylan once when I was maybe 20, and I was like, I don't know what song this is. Like, this is so reinvented. I have no idea what this is. But like, if you can keep the integrity of the songs and still
keep the skeleton,
be creative, still be creative with it. I think that's a happy medium.